Let's keep the energy going. Next, for incorporating NFTs into traditional art, Drew Mailen and King Saladeen. Woo!
Good afternoon, everybody.
GM. NFT.NYC, I said GM. Thank you, thank you. Who's out there first, NFT.NYC? All right, awesome, welcome. Who's been to NFT.NYC before? OGs. Who's been to more than one NFT.NYC? All right, 2020, February, you were there? Okay, all right, cool. Well, welcome. My name is Drew Mailen, and I'm the founder of Bounty Base. This is actually my third NFT.NYC, and it's so great to be here with all of you today. I'm the founder of a blog called Bounty Base, and yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you today. And I just wanted to give a thank you to the founders of the event, Cameron and Jody, and to Quinn as well, the production assistant. Can we please give them a round of applause? They've been amazing, been incredible. Yeah, this is really great. And you know, it's really a privilege to welcome King Saladeen to the NFT.NYC stage. Can we give him a big round of applause?
Thank you.
So, I mean, you know his work. You've seen him do collaborations with Jordan, Topps, NBA Math Hoops, Mercedes, the list goes on. And it's really a privilege to have one of the most innovative artists of our generation here at the NFT.
Stop.
No, it's really a pleasure. So, tell me, what got you into NFTs? Like, what was your transition into NFTs?
Well, how I got into NFTs was actually just ear hustling and overhearing my manager talk about different things with a bunch of his friends and clients, and I'm just like, just overhearing things, and I'm just, you know, I'm the guy that's always like, I didn't go to art school, you know what I'm thinking, you know, things like that. So everything that I've learned, it's always been me just asking questions and really just over and over and over and not letting certain things go past me and act like I know, you know what I mean? So I think that's one of the things that really helped me out in life. So the NFTs, it was a bunch of my manager's friends into it, maybe like 2018-ish, 19-ish, and I just started asking questions. And then we released our first NFT last year, I'm not sure, I think January of last year.
Great. So let's take it a step back even further.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start your journey as an artist? Let's take it back.
Well, I like to say when I came out the womb, because I never got really directed to be an artist. You know what I mean? I played basketball. I did mostly everything that growing up in the inner city that most boys my age would be doing. So it wasn't anything that was like special, like I want you to follow art and that's what it's going to be. So it's always just been something that's been in me. I just remember writing on my walls as a kid, my mom beating my butt, and just like going through things like that, like me just having super impulse for anything creative. And you know, once my mom let me like have free reign, she let me like draw on all my walls in the room. Just couldn't go in the kitchen, just couldn't go in the bathroom, things like that. So once she allowed me to be creative like that, I think it just opened up my world.
So just a really creative environment.
Yeah. Because, you know, if your mom's beating you, she's like, you better not write on the wall ever again. It's kind of like you're scared to like create. You're scared to like be what's inside of you. So she was one of the people that was just like, just go ahead, just better not be any of your art on the kitchen walls. You know what I mean? So I was.
You knew your place.
Yeah, I was happy about that.
Amazing. So I believe it was Topps that marked your transition into digital art. Yeah. So could you tell us about that moment of your art career?
Okay, so I was able to have a major opportunity to remix and revision cards from Topps, baseball cards, for 2 years. So the first year, it was like, how am I going to do this? I'm working on paintings that are like 10 feet tall, some of them, 10 feet wide, and now I have to do this is same energy, the same art, everything that Topps wanted me to do, I have to do it in a palm-sized card. So my crew, my team at the time, they were telling me, you need to get into the digital art space. You need to try to figure out how to like translate your art to the computer because there was so many different things that we were doing, merch-wise, and just everything that has to get vectored and sent through a computer. It was very hard if I hand painted everything. You know what I mean? Just breaking down colors, just everything. So digital art started with Topps, but it also started when I was like releasing merch and things like that. But when I got really good and it was like I had to have deadlines for all of this stuff, was with Topps.
That's awesome. That's really incredible. So when was that first drop with Topps?
It was 2020. It's like they started like January 2020, so it was in the midst of the pandemic, and this is when everybody was like looking for anything to do. So I think it hit so hard because, you know, baseball cards are something that everybody's grown up with. Even if you weren't into trading them, you understand and you know what they are and the value behind them and things like that. So it was actually like my first NFTs. You know what I mean? Because they sold for a higher price on the secondary market. I got a residual from the company. So that was my first idea and my first entering, like creating something that could live on forever almost. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just to switch it up a little bit, because your work that you do with CMI is so incredible for the Philadelphia community, between the turkey givebacks and the after-school programs that you do. So could you tell us a little bit more about CMI and what that community means to you?
So CMI is Create, Motivate, Inspire, and it's a foundation that me and a couple of my teammates and my best friend actually started. It just was something that I just wanted to do to give back to the kids in my neighborhood, because I know how crazy it is and how hard it is for like kids to really stay focused. And if they see somebody that they're relatable with, somebody that actually came from the same area, be somewhat successful in something, no matter what it is, they're going to gravitate to it. And it's just going to help somebody's life out. You know what I mean? So that was my biggest thing, was just like trying to help one or two kids. You know what I mean? But it turned into a whole big thing in Philadelphia and outside of Philadelphia as well. So Create, Motivate, Inspire is just something that I wanted to do, to attach myself with giving back to the neighborhood that I'm from and other neighborhoods. And I actually had my best friend and the guys on my team, they manage a lot of it. So it was like a good space to have them orchestrate their stuff that they do. You know what I mean? So it's just an all-around just great situation to help people out.
That's great. So, yeah, that's really incredible. Just to go back to your art for a second, because we're in New York City, so I think it's definitely worth bringing up that you have a piece on the 6th floor of the New York Stock Exchange, in the right by the big boardroom.
Yeah.
So could you tell us about what it was like as an artist to get asked by the New York Stock Exchange, to be commissioned by the New York Stock Exchange?
Well, that was pretty crazy. Shout out to Peter Tuckman. He like runs the floor in the stock exchange. So I became like really good friends with him. He was coming to a lot of my art shows. He was cool with my manager. So it was just like super organic when he said he wanted to do something like an art hallway where everybody that rings the bell, everybody's company's going public, he wanted them to be able to see the art. And I'm just like, that's crazy. So this is just all talks before it actually happened. And I think I'm the first artist to like put a bear inside of the stock exchange. So I'm not the reason for the market being messed up or anything, but I also did a bull. I did a bull and a bear. So I did like a balance of both markets, the up and downs of investing. So it was very cool. Just to get back to what you were saying, it was like dream come true, kind of. Because me personally, being where I'm from, I would never think that I would step foot inside of the New York Stock Exchange. You know what I'm saying? So to have art there, and I've had a few people commission me art from just walking through, and somebody actually bought the art off the wall, one of the pieces off the wall. So we had about 3 pieces in the hallway, and that's a whole nother story. But it's just been amazing, man. It's like God sends.
That's great. That's so great. And one of the most incredible parts about your work is actually the story of JP and the JP effect. So can you please tell us a little bit more about what the JP effect is? Okay, so the JP effect is my newest NFT project that we're working on. We pushed it back a little bit because I wanted to be able to like learn a little bit more, have gain my community to get a little bit bigger as well, and come out to NYC NFT just to learn, you know what I mean? Because the last thing I want to do is just like jump in a project and I don't do as much research as I could, you know what I mean? So that was one of the biggest things that I wanted to do, was like come experience everything, meet more people, ask more questions. Just like when I didn't know what NFTs were, I didn't want to get into NFTs and then
not ask a bunch of questions and do things like this. You know what I'm saying? So to get back to the JP effect, my best friend JP, he passed away from cancer in 2013, and he was one of the most influential people in my life to get me on this path to do art. You know what I mean? He bought my first art paintings. He made me quit my job. Like, that was crazy. Like, he was like pounding me for like a year to like quit my job. And I'm like, bro, I just can't quit my job. You know what I mean? And he was just like, no, if you quit your job, I'll make sure that you all right. All you gotta do is pay your car note. Come on, Heen, you gotta stop being regular. And that was his thing. Like I was trying to be regular, and he seen something in me, and it must have been like his heaven sent before, you know, he passed away to like put that in me to do all the things I'm doing now. So that's a JP effect. That's how I looked at JP effect in my life. So by me getting that, everybody that I come in contact with is some type of JP effect, because I didn't really have that effect to like inspire people other than when he inspired me. And then he passed away, and it was like something he left with me. You know what I mean? So I felt as though that the next NFT project would be called the JP effect, because how much it did to my life, and I've seen it grow through other people. Like, you know what I mean? So, and that's pretty much what I want to do in the NFT space as well too, is give people a community where they can dream, where they can literally dream, not like some BS dreaming, but like, the only reason I'm up here right now is because I went along with a dream. You know what I mean? And I had somebody very influential and very close to me and very relatable that pushed me. And a lot of us don't have that, you know what I mean? So I want to just try to give that story behind everything that I'm creating. So if somebody's out there with these kind of things inside of them, but they just don't have that JP, they don't have that person that's, you know, a lot of us have friends that might tell you can't do everything, you know what I mean? So I was just lucky to have one that was like pressing me to be great. And that's the JP effect pretty much.
That's incredible. Yeah, if everyone could have a friend like that, you know, imagine the world.
Definitely.
Absolutely. All right, so we have about 2 minutes left, so I'd like to bring it to a Q&A. So we have one of the most innovative artists of our generation right here on stage. So does anyone have a question? Oh, yo, by the way, you can catch us both at DeFi Philly July 8th. Shout out to the DeFi Philly crew.
That's going to be dope.
Yeah.
And we got giveaways, so don't be quiet, guys. Ask me some questions. We got giveaways for you.
So who has a question? In the back. Size of the collection.
Oh, the JP effect, the first collection is going to be 1234. And the reason for that number is because my best friend, JP, now y'all told you the story of him. We used to be riding in the car all the time. We used to be sitting in the house, and he used to always see 1234 on the clock. And it would be like, he would always ask me like, yo, Heen, what you think that mean? I see it every day. And me just being, I'm like, bro, I have no clue. You just look at the clock at the same time every day. So when he passed away, this is things that just kept going through my brain. And this is a lot of the things that I put in my physical art as well. Like on these toys, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 427. So 427 is my grandma's birthday. She passed away from cancer as well. So I put all of this stuff into everything that I create, and that's going to just be a part of the roadmap for the NFT.
Great. Another question right here? Oh. Can you repeat that?
Oh, I have no clue. But what's crazy is, right, my daughter does the same thing. And it's like, I find myself being, you know, I just painted my house, like, when we just moved in the house. It cost, like, I didn't even know it cost that much to paint a house, right? So now she runs around with the markers, and she's just writing on the walls with pens, so we got to move everything. And it's like, I find myself being, like, mad, but I'm like, how can I be mad if my mom let me do it? And I'm actually an artist now, so I don't know. I don't know. Whatever I wanted to do at that age, we might have to ask her. She's 3 right now. I remember being like 5 getting in trouble. So she's 3, and she's like, that's just like the first thing she goes to is like grabs the coloring books every day, writes on the walls. So I don't know. It's just something in our genes. I don't know. Because my son's not like that. My son's totally different. So I don't know.
All right, we have time for one more question. Yeah, in the front row here.
What message do you have for traditional artists that want to kind of break into the space but don't know yet?
I would think traditional artists, like depending on your mindset, it would be that you want to do something that's like going to be toward the future. So my biggest thing was pretty much like I wanted to be a part of the NFT world just to have JP live on forever because everything was so painted. It was art. It was you know, on canvas. It was oil, acrylic. So it was certain things that I couldn't do with that art that I could do with NFTs. I wanted to give him characteristics. I wanted to, you know, I want to have him running and moving and, you know, certain things that he was, you know, he was very witty. So I want to put that as his character, you know what I mean? Things like that. I don't know. I just think you got to move toward the future and you got to take a chance too. And it's also an investment and it's ownership too. Ownership properties, every artist should want to be a part of this. So that's what I think. I don't know what I don't know. Thank you, man.
All right, thank you all for coming out. Follow the JP Effect and follow King Saladeen to stay tuned for the story. Thank y'all for coming out.
Thank you, guys.